threat on me? The Marines, remember?
Right, but there's also a political group that grabbed that up, isn't there?
Well, if you're talking about the Tea Party, there's nothing wrong with Tea Party. Is there anything wrong with Tea Party, you think?
Absolutely.
Like what? What's wrong with the Tea Party?
Just like the people, listen, our democracy, the problem with our democracy, the root of all our problem with democracy is this country is under corporate control. And that's the reason why you want to, that's why the reason that you want to define corporations as people,
and
even though
corporations.
they never came through a vagina. But you people say that you believe in God, but you should know that all persons that God created came through a vagina, and He told you that.
Are you against corporations?
Did God create corporations? I'm against corporations controlling our government. How? Because it's not supposed to be.
So
it's not a republic anymore.
And Obama is
the one. It's not a republic. A republic, definition of a republic is the power remains in the hands of the people.
What about General Electric? Are you for General Electric or against the General Electric?
If they're part of the corporation, the corporate cabal that controls our country, of course I'm against them. Because I do not believe in fascism. Corporate control of a country is fascism.
But your man,
I know what fascism is.
Your man Obama is that part of the group.
Listen,
isn't he?
Both of them are corrupted by corporations. Both of them are corrupted by corporations. Both parties, whether they wear a D or R. But it's for you, the people, because the power is supposed to remain with you in this republic. It's you're supposed to know when your institutions are corrupted and you're supposed to reject them. That's why when you tell me that 5 people on the Supreme Court to all of a sudden the next day told me that corporation is a person and I'm supposed to follow it, the republic doesn't lie in their hands. They work for us whether they remember it or not. I don't take their definitions and make it my mentality if I understand what a republic means.
Okay, so
I should know when what they say is full of shit. And when they say your corporation's a person, they're full of shit and they have been corrupted. It's that easy. I can tell by what they do. From that one decision, they fatally destroyed this republic. Because the republic was supposed to remain in the hands of the people, the common. And money is speech. Money is not supposed to be speech because in the republic, in the democratic republic that we're supposed to have, because you have more money, you are not supposed to have more speech than the guy that's a bum on the street that's poor.
You're not supposed to have more money.
No, you're not. I'm sorry, not more money. More voice in our government than the guy that's a bum. The amount of money in your pocket was not supposed to make you have more control over this democracy than anybody else that has less money.
So what exactly are you trying to change then? What are you trying to change then?
You don't understand what I'm trying to change?
No, because if you talk about
money, the root of all of our problem is America's under corporate control. That's the root of all the symptoms of all the problems.
But Obama, he is one of those, if you think that's the problem.
Yes, they're both puppets. So one election is going to change that.
Okay, so
right now we're trapped in the middle of the lesser of two evils. Now, if I'm going to pick one guy from those two guys, and one's an empty shell of an idiot that will say fucking anything and his mother to get fucking in office just to have the name of the president.
You're talking about Obama, right?
No, I'm talking about Mitt Romney, and you know I'm talking about Mitt Romney. You're a man. You're a puppet. To get in office, and this guy, like I said, we're stuck in the believing of lesser of two evils. Until we learn one thing, until we learn how to select before we elect, we will never be free, but we also have to know what the root of the problem is. And we have to recognize fascism when it comes into your society, because fascism has reached America, and fascism is the definition of marriage of corporate and state. And right now, America is under corporate control, and that's why you have the decisions picked by 5 judges that were picked by right wings, funded by the Koch brothers, that made that decision to say that corporations are people. And you know, if you were honest and not part of the corrupt system, you know in your heart, you know that corporations are not people. You know that you're spreading a lie, and you know you're spreading propaganda. Because you say, and I want to, you gonna say you're a Christian too? Do you believe in God?
No, I'm Jewish.
Do you believe? Oh, okay. Do you believe in God?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes.
Maybe.
On the weekends only?
Yeah, could be.
Maybe between 5 and 10?
So you call Obama a fascist. So the bottom line is...
If you believe anything in God, you know that God created man. God did not create the corporation. And you say that you got the godlike power because you created a corporation to make that all of a sudden that corporation becomes a person. That is not true, and you know you are anti against God when you say that. So you can't believe in God and say that at the same time.
So America America.
You cannot believe in God and say that God didn't create God created man.
So
God did not
America
create a
in
corporation.
your
And
mind.
you say you have the power of God.
America in your mind is the country with no corporations. In other words,
No.
no corporations.
America, in my mind, is
Uh-huh.
corporations under control of the government. Government under control
How?
of the people.
Wait.
That's what we were supposed to be as a republic.
Can it be more specific then?
Specific? How
Yeah.
much?
How?
I can draw a picture
Well,
for you.
specifically.
You didn't understand what I just
No.
said?
How
You
the government
are a
specifically?
CEO of a corporation. You don't understand what I said?
No.
And I'm a peasant to you? And you're
How?
I'm a peasant, and you can't understand what I'm saying?
How the government in your mind should control the corporations?
What do you mean, how should they control the
How?
corporation?
Yeah,
First
how?
of all, how they should control the corporation, take money out of politics. That's number one. There was a time in the
But Obama is for it. He knows that, right?
No.
He is. You know that.
No, he's not. No,
Really?
that's not true.
Well,
he
he's-
wants money out of corporation, but he doesn't want to say, okay, only my side doesn't play with money, but your side plays with money. He wants both, everybody, just like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett wants his taxes raised, but he wants cross-the-board taxes raised.
So how?
You're just a regular Tea Partier trying to twist my words.
So
and you
how-
understand that what I'm saying, you know it makes sense.
So
and you
how-
know you're
how
everything
will
you're
the
saying
government-
is getting buffed right now in your face.
How will the government control the corporations?
What? There was a time
How
in this country the
specifically?
government didn't control the corporation. There was a time in this country we enforced progressive taxation across the board. There was a time that corporations didn't offshore their money, or they would be, wow, what would happen to them? Their CEOs would be in jail right now. There was a time, but then they decided, instead of paying all that money and paying our taxes, why don't we just take 25% of it, corrupt the government, lower our taxes, and we'll keep the 75% cut. So they corrupted our government with it, and that's why they're not paying taxes and drown out. That's why now their shills are in our government through ALEC, and you know ALEC because you support ALEC, and they control our government right now.
How much taxes do corporations pay?
What?
How much taxes do corporations pay?
In percentage or in
Percentage,
actual
yeah.
money?
No, percentage.
First of all right, in 2010, the highest corporations paid 0% in taxes.
Well, General Electric and
General Electric for Verizon. Wait a second,
that's
there's more.
because
Wait a second,
that's
there's more.
because-
Wait a second, there's more. There's more. Exxon, there's more. There's more.
Exxon didn't pay any taxes, really. Really?
Look it up.
Exxon
How much you want to bet?
didn't
How
pay
much you want to
anything.
bet?
Really?
How much you want to
They
bet?
got
Really?
money back from the
Really?
government.
How so?
Millions.
How so? How so?
The same way that
$22
people
billion.
get earned income credit.
How so?
$22 billion.
2010, they paid zero.
I'm not arguing. Every oil company, among all the oil companies, they got $22 billion in subsidies. And what they do is they get the government to pay them for the research to try and find their oil.
Well, first of all, you know what the companies drill for something, it's not the subsidy. It's the tax abatement in a way. So in other words, when you drill, when you do all this drilling and you don't find anything, you just don't pay taxes. That's what it is. As opposed to, let's say, the government literally subsidizing, if not buying General Motors, that still owes us $25 billion. I mean, don't you see the difference? What about Solyndra? Have you heard of Solyndra?
Yeah.
So what happened with $500 million? Your money, my money. I'm paying taxes.
Right.
I hope you do too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what happens? I mean, aren't you pissed off that, Solyndra, that Obama just
Well,
did?
that's one company. We're
That's
talking
one-
about.
There's a whole bunch of companies. Then Exxon pays a lot of taxes, a lot of money in taxes. I mean, you can look it up. It's the common knowledge. In fact, they pay hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes.
Not hundreds of billions.
Well,
No,
let's
they
say
don't.
hundreds
No,
of
they don't.
millions. Okay, I take it back.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Based on about $40 billion a quarter in profit. $40 billion a quarter in profit, they pay
Okay.
a couple hundred million. $40 billion a quarter in profits, a quarter, 3 months. Then at the end of the year, they pay a couple $100 million in taxes.
So what's your solution? I mean, what are you suggesting? I mean, what are you trying to say? I'm looking at these Occupy Wall Street people and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what are the main grievances.
The main grievances
and how,
to me is to end corporate personhood. Corporations are not people. Citizens United. Have you ever heard of Citizens United?
Yeah, but
2010 court ruling.
But Supreme Court has been ruling over and over again that they are people. Exactly.
and
that they
therefore,
are
because they're
people.
corporations.
That is our main
no
Take the
longer,
money
man.
out of politics.
So okay, so when you're saying they're not people, what exactly do you mean by that? And
What I mean by that is,
what does it change?
you as a person
Uh-huh.
can give as much money as an individual to a political campaign, either above board or below board, either secretly or openly. The problem is that when you name a corporation a person, it gives them the right to give gazillion dollars to political campaigns.
Well,
Anonymously.
but it works.
Anonymously.
But it works for both parties. It works for both
Yeah,
parties,
but
right?
it's wrong
Right.
in both parties. I'm not a
Wrong in
Democrat.
both
I'm not a
parties.
Republican.
Okay.
Both parties are bought and sold by the corporations, not the people.
Uh-huh.
It used to be that as an individual, you could give $2,000 to a candidate,
Uh-huh.
and that's all you could give.
Now
Okay.
And now
corporations can give hundreds of millions of dollars.
millions and millions.
Or people like the Koch brothers, who are oil tycoons, can give $400 million to defeat Obama and other
Yeah.
Democrats.
And
400
private citizens
million.
But
money is power.
but the same works with General Electric, for example, that paid exactly $0 in taxes.
Exactly.
So that's your only grievance? That let's say we
No,
eliminate.
Citizens
That is-
United, take the money out of politics. Stop the idea of people giving millions and millions of dollars to people like Karl Rove so they can put a commercial on the air that opposes a liberal, or giving money on the opposite side. Bill Maher gave $1 million
Yeah.
to a PAC to oppose Romney. But nobody
at
can
least that
control
wasn't
them.
anonymously.
It wasn't anonymous, it was open.
Okay.
But to have
So-
some
okay,
corporation
so
over
we're-
here
so
create
we're-
a phony commercial.
Okay, so we're getting back to the same story.
Money out of
which
politics.
which works both ways for the
Oh, yeah.
Republicans and the
Exactly.
Democrats. Okay,
Exactly.
It works
and
for
that-
anybody
and
who
that-
wants to be bought.
And that's it. So this is your
Yeah,
only
money out of
grievance, right?
politics. That's our primary issue.
Personally,
Okay.
that's our personal
Our
issue.
primary
Okay.
issue.
Personal because you work for a
No,
corporation.
Occupy Roanoke, which is the group that we're in Roanoke.
I'm sorry, which
Virginia.
one?
Roanoke,
Virginia. Okay.
We
You know the place where Obama is accused of saying you didn't build that.
Well,
I was at the speech. I heard every fucking word, and that's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie.
So
if
he
you
didn't-
heard the entire statement,
Yes, I
you
did.
realize
Oh,
it.
of course I did.
Oh, no, you
Yeah.
did not. If that's all you heard was he didn't build that, that's a lie. He said, if you have your own businesses, if you built a business, there were teachers, there were highways, there were other things. And then he went on to say, only because of this great American system
Where we
can you
all work
together,
together.
can you create a business. He praised the system, but they chopped it right after, if you have a business, you didn't build that.
Well, that's exactly what he
Out of
said.
context. Well, based
Well,
on
I
that,
read
based
the
on
whole
that,
speech.
Based on that, Romney wants all poor people to die.
Let's assume that he didn't, even though I see it with my own eyes and heard it
I
with
was
my own
there.
ears.
I was there. I
Okay.
have it on tape.
Okay. So does
So he actually
gazillion
said that we all
of
work
TV
together to build a
stations.
system.
So what's wrong then with the whole thing? I mean, what do you think? Well, first of all, everything that Obama has done so far, are you happy with where we are today?
No.
And why is
No,
that?
I don't like the NDAA ruling where you can detain people indefinitely. He signed it after saying he wasn't going to sign it.
What about it? What about
veto it?
Well, what about economy? Are we happy with
What about the
our
economy?
economy?
No, nobody's happy with the economy. But he certainly didn't put us there.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay, certainly. How you doing? My
How
name's
you doing,
Jim.
my friend? Do you think that any political party right now controls this country, or do you think it's under corporate control?
Oh, I think it's under corporate control.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you understand if it's under corporate control and both parties are under that control and they're puppets, you understand there's only so much they can and cannot do.
Exactly.
With the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they
They're
get,
working
or they
for the
get the,
corporation.
They're working for
or
the
they get the
corporation.
JFK treatment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I don't know
Now,
if they'll kill him, but I do agree that
he owns a corporation. He says corporations are people. Did you guys
corporations
have
are
that
not
ar-
people. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Can they, let me hear this one. Can they execute your company? Can they put them in the electric chair? See, in Texas, they execute people. Oh,
yes,
they could execute your company?
yes, of course. I mean,
Can
you
your
can.
corporation get
well,
married?
Can it get married?
Well,
Can it have children?
Can it have children?
They can merge. Yes, they
No,
have.
they can have
yes.
children?
Well, of
What's
course,
the natural
daughters.
lifespan of a
Bra-
corporation?
Do they
branches.
have sex?
Branches.
I want to
the
watch your
natural lifespan?
corporation have sex with another corporation so y'all can procreate.
Well,
a child.
but you're
Well, they
taking.
can't. That's what the argument I said.
but
I said
you're
a person
taking.
come to a
But how?
and a corporation does
He
not.
said that
Oh, I don't wanna
word.
say it.
Oh
Now
my
the Michigan
God.
legislature.
But the
I said-
corporation consists of people
So does
that
a
do
bus.
the same thing.
So does a building. So does my apartment. My apartment consists of people. So that means he can vote twice. He can vote once as a person,
Exactly.
and then your corporation is going to vote too, right?
Do people vote?
In the election, right?
Yeah,
But
so of
only
course they
people
do.
vote, right?
Well, of
Corporation-
course.
How can
person, right?
corporations be people?
Well, because the corporations that
Buys a
Your
politician.
corporation registered to vote.
Buys a politician.
Your corporation registered to vote.
every person or whoever works for me, I hope, is
Then your
registered to
corporation
vote.
registered to vote.
Is it registered?
Corporation consists of people.
Consists now.
Corporation,
But that doesn't mean
but
corporations is
a
a person.
group of people. What is a city? What is a city, for
A
example?
city can't vote. A city can't
city can't
procreate.
But definition of a city
Is a community that
Exactly.
supposedly works for the
A
common
city's not a
good.
person.
No, let
A
me
country's
finish.
not a person just because
So-
it's made up of people.
so a
Things that are
city-
made up of people doesn't make them a
a
person.
city, a town,
Corporation
a,
comes into existence through court. It's an
a
entity.
building consists of people, right?
A building does. A
Okay.
building has people
And-
living
and so-
in it. No,
okay.
that building is not a person.
You are smart enough to know this. And I know
He
you're
knows
smart
it. He
enough.
knows it.
But you
But he's a
don't
Tea Party
wanna-
guy.
right,
He's a
and
Tea
he
Party
does
guy,
it,
and he
and
wants to
stay
ignore
on
it.
message.
That's exactly
That's
right. We know, we know that.
He's
We know
just
that. He
needling.
knows that. He's just playing.
So
BS.
you're pointing to this?
I'm pointing to your don't tread on me,
Yeah, to you.
And
which is a Tea Party.
He's
Well-
a crazy person in the room.
All right. Well,
Your
good luck
clothes
with what you're
consist
doing.
of your person.
Thank you.
Okay.
The one
All
thing
right.
will bring about change in corporations will no longer be people. They can no longer buy politicians.
Okay.
We hope
when the
and
Tea
pray.
Party started out,
Right.
that was their big thing, was bail out of the banks.
Well,
And
everything else is just
in
Well-
that way, Occupy and the Tea Party
Oh, you
had a
didn't
lot
shake
in
my
common
hand.
originally.
Good luck.
Shake my hand. I hope to defeat you. I hope to defeat everything you believe in.
We'll talk
And I'll
after-
spend my rest
we'll-
of my life defeating your
we'll
ideas
talk
and
after
what you
no-
believe in.
after November
I'll spend
6th.
everything. No,
When
but,
Obama's
one
reelected,
election
and then
ain't
we
gonna
can
do
look
it.
for a
He's gonna
third
get
party.
reelected.
Well,
You think
look.
your
Obama
guy
will be
Mitt Romney's
reelected,
gonna be
then
it?
we'll look for a third
Listen,
party
no
after
matter how
Listen,
many
let
billions
me-
of dollars you put by Mitt Romney, he's not gonna
Let me tell you something about myself. I was born and raised
So?
behind the Iron Curtain
So,
in
Good.
USSR.
I'm so proud that
So-
you made it to this free
so-
country where we
So
find
when I
politicians.
see and I talk to people that advocate getting back to socialism,
that's
it
not
makes
socialism.
it
You
makes
don't know what
my
socialism
Let me ask you.
You
Let me
know
ask
I
what
don't
the difference
know.
is socialism.
Okay.
Let me ask
If
you
you
one
think
question.
pay taxes is
Let me ask him one
socialism.
question.
Pay
Sure.
taxes
Do you
is not
think we should
socialism.
take care of our veterans?
I'm sorry.
Should we take care of our veterans?
Of course we
Of
should.
course, that's so
And how
true.
should we do that?
No, it's not.
How do we do that?
Of course.
They take
If
my
you don't want
money.
to pay taxes,
They
No,
take
it's
my
not.
How do
money
we do
and
that
they
if
give
you
it
don't
to
want to
the
pay
veterans.
taxes?
See,
You don't want to
If
pay
it-
taxes, right?
I want to help the veterans.
You take
let
taxes.
me
It's
let me
criminal, right?
explain.
Do we have
Let,
public schools?
let me explain.
All right, social.
Let him explain.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
I want to hear the
Crazy.
Soviet,
Okay.
the former
Here's-
Soviet interpretation.